wondering what topics should we cover for our comeback videos, because I know we've been off for like 2 months already. Almost 2 months.
To be honest, I don't really know as well. Because with all the studies that have been going on, like it's really hard to focus on something creative. So I think I'll just like scroll down to some of our old content to see, what are some of the topics that we can really like maybe elaborate upon or something like that. In the meantime, you can think about that.
Okay. Any ideas?
Oh my God, you know what?
What?
It's been like our anniversary, it's coming up. Like as I scroll down to the bottom of the list of our videos, I saw that our very first YouTube video was like 11 months ago. So our anniversary is coming up, and it's on, if I'm not wrong, it's on the 6th of June.
Whoa. It's been a year already?
Yeah, couldn't believe it either. Like, yeah.
Time actually flies.
I actually thought that we needed more episodes before we reach the 1 year mark, like at least like 40 episodes or something.
I don't know. I still cannot grasp the idea that we've been on, we started this thing for a year already.
Yeah, a year.
Year. Oh my God.
Okay, so in honor of this special event, I think we should record an episode about our whole journey from start to finish.
Why not? I think it's a great idea, a year. It's been like a milestone that we've come so far. And what's more meaningful than just to have ourselves on camera once again? Well, after 2 months break to celebrate our 12 months on the Tech&Law. So
yeah.
So without further ado, let's get started. So I guess that it's safe to say that, we've been planning that a year anniversary at the start of everything, but that we just realized a few days ago that it's actually our anniversary, that it's coming up against, it's in the corner, it's around the corner, and I don't think we have any kind of, it was just like this moment that just passed by, and we just realized, wait, June. Something happens in June.
My birthday.
Yeah, so we were actually talking about Caroline's birthday. And then I was checking calendar and I was like, something's really strange, just there's just something inside me saying that you're missing something. It's coming up there. And I was like, and then, before I got to Caroline, I was like checking YouTube, and I was checking on the web because I cannot see the date on my phone, and it's actually June 6th. So here we are celebrating our 1 year anniversary. So Caroline, might take a trip down memory lane to where it all started?
That sounds very familiar. So how did we find out it's our anniversary? Like Sarah mentioned, we just found it out by chance, and we were talking about something else because so it all came back to Sarah's birthday. So on her birthday, I wanted to kind of did this very cute, I don't know, journey recap on our friendship by printing out photos and Polaroids and stuff, but the place where I ordered, they came very late. They came 2 days after her birthday, so I couldn't give her that. And so I was talking to her about how that was very unfortunate this morning as we were recording this, and then suddenly she told me that it's actually our anniversary in like 3 days on June 6th. So we are recording this on June 3rd. So we just had a little bit of shock there because, like I mentioned in the beginning of this, I didn't even had a clue that our anniversary is coming up, and that I thought that we need to do more episodes before that because there are 52 weeks in a year, and we only hit like 33 episodes. So that means that we took a lot of days off. 20
Yeah.
weeks off, 20 weeks off, nearly 20 weeks off. So that's insane. But yeah, so that's how we found out about all this. I feel like it's kind of funny because like we didn't even think about it in the first place.
We almost missed it actually.
Yeah.
You know, initially that we're planning to have our first comeback video like next week.
Mhm.
So by then it will probably been, you know, we missed the anniversary already. So that's our story on discovering our anniversary date. Now going back, you know, kind of have a small reflection, something that's more familiar with the recap and stuff. So now we're gonna do it again, but you know, different content,
Yes.
something more. Okay. So when did it all started? Like really went way back, way before the gummy bears and the fish sauce.
The Bean Boozled. So
Yeah.
it started like many months before that. Because we had this steaming idea of wanting to start a YouTube channel way before that. I remember like I texted you back in, if I'm not wrong, then maybe around March or April, around the mark of the exam season, saying that, oh, we should do something to, yeah, maybe document our journey. And it's just fun for us to talk. And then when it like really started on the planning, the I don't know, designing and stuff is after in May, I guess. In May. Okay, so our very first meeting was at Starbucks. So I was studying at this Viettel Tower in on Cách Mạng Tháng 8 Street, and then on that day we decided to have a meeting, like our very first meeting to come up with a name, a theme, a campaign and stuff. And so we sat down at a Starbucks near that, and I would say that was not a very effective and productive meeting because we couldn't come up with a name at all, and even like many dates after that. We had a coffee meeting once again at another Starbucks with Billy.
It was way less productive than the first
Way
one.
less, because you know we tried to make him think of the many adjectives that would describe us so that we can come up with a name. We even Google, or like there are some generators online that they would generate names for us, and we would try all different methods, but we couldn't come up with a name that satisfy us and our needs. And so I don't know if you like have heard about this before, but the date that the day that we came up with our name was the day where we actually filmed our first episode. I was like, I don't know, I was preparing and setting up the dishes and the different plates and stuff, and then we were like also thinking and brainstorming at the same time.
I basically like, you know, because you were at my house for
Yeah.
the whole morning,
Yeah.
and we basically stalled for almost half a day just to, you know, make some time to think of a name. And then the second, like before we, you know, turn on the cameras, we was like, you know, let's just go with the flow and come up with a name later. And then we just go with the talking mode. So I don't really like, it's really hazy how it all comes to sense that, you know, okay, the talking mode sounds great. And we check, you know, on Google to see if this name is taken, which is basically write the talking mode to see what's there, and nothing came up actually. So we take that. Do you remember the name that we almost, you know, adopt for our channels, like something with scope? Something with
scope
and dot something. It was scope dot something.
And also we have this kind of explained, you know, I don't know, something I could insert the doc, the sheet,
we have this whole sheet
that we had.
It was really good. We came up, like Caroline said, we came up with all the ways, you know, all the ways that we could do to
like this very cool names, very elegant.
And you know, and with meanings too. But it was wrong. So been like, oh, so how does our parents just name us? It's like the name that's gonna stick us for like forever. So is it like a long process? I mean, it's gonna be less than 9 months or something, but at least, yeah. So our baby was born, the talking mode was born. And so yeah, that name sounds all right, and we went with it, and here we are
I
now.
mean, like if we hated it, we couldn't go back either because it's settled.
Plus, like we also think that the name is just a factor. Whether
Yeah.
if we just make it, we try to develop our channel, our contents, then maybe the talking mode is something. Talking mode is not something because of the name. It's because of the content in it. So
And that's why we are, if you haven't recognized already, we are wearing our theme colors. So I'm wearing yellow and our theme is orange, as with our logo, and then Sarah is wearing blue on our logo as well. So yeah, kind of special.
coincidentally, 1 year anniversary is also close to the day that we graduated from high school, right? So it's been one heck of a ride that we did there. Our last year's or senior year, lots of assignments, lots of tests, lots of things to apply. Universities, all sorts of things, it's crazy because when you come to think of it, when you're at a threshold of becoming an adult, a young adult, you kind of, there's all this, it's really normal until you actually add it. And I think that, the talking mode has always been like this crucial part of us, documenting the things that we have experienced, the things that we have seen online, the things that we have witnessed other experience it. And so, Caroline, for you, the talking mode, is it something that you have kind of envision for yourself when you enter high school? Do you think that you're gonna do something like this? Like anything like this, when you're in high school?
Yeah. So that was no, haven't even had a thought that I would become a YouTuber and I would like publicly share my opinions online, because back then, first of all, I didn't have much knowledge when it comes to all this very complex matters that we talked about. That was way later in grade 11 when I participated in different debate competition. That's when I started to do more research. But when I first entered high school, I didn't know anything. And also, like, in order for you to have a YouTube channel, especially with another person, then I think that I wouldn't have to find a person that is compatible with my energy and my vibe and my thoughts. And also, when entering high school, I didn't even know if I would have a friend like that. So yeah, that didn't even cross my mind. I would just want to try different clubs, join different organizations and stuff, and that's it. But it was a very special milestone because I don't think that many high school students have a YouTube channel on their portfolio and on their resume. And so that's kind of special. And even though like we are still very small, very, very small, like we're micro small, I think that we still leave some impact on the people that watch our videos, like many of our successors and also many of the people that have gone before us. So yeah. But what about you? Have you ever thought that you would be a co-host to a YouTube channel?
Okay, to be honest, thought of actually creating a YouTube has crossed my mind before.
Ooh.
So, but actually, because I don't know, it was really vague. I was thinking somewhere along, just an English YouTube, but like, no, I don't know the content yet. Probably something like baking or, because it's kind of fun. And I looked at the people, when they do it, it looks so easy. And, it could be entertaining too. I mean, whoa. But then, it's just somewhere at the back of my head. Not something that I would tick, on my bucket list. And so it's not until that I met Caroline and not until that I've noticed that, we had this chemistry when we talk about stuff that we bring it onto YouTube to, spread it to a wider audience. And so here we are. So Caroline, there's this question that I want to ask you. We've been at the talking mode for a year. Do you notice how like our support from our class or from our friends, how is it like?
Um,
Did anyone ask you about the talking mode or your family or whatever?
my biggest fear when it comes to starting a YouTube channel was the reaction from the people around me. You know, I know that there would be people who would have a positive reaction, but you know, in my mind, like the worst case scenario is that no one would support me, or they would say things about my YouTube channel, or at least like our YouTube channel, and that in the beginning was very hard for me. And it helped when I had another person co-hosting this YouTube channel with, because if you remember, like in the beginning days, we would always like try to remind ourselves that it's okay, and we didn't need to we didn't have to listen to other judgments, and we just have, you know, yeah. And that's very comforting, and that really helped me to at least like overcome that first few weeks, because it was terrifying, because we were entering the last year of high school, and many people looked up to us because we are the oldest in our school, and many people would know about our YouTube channel, many teachers, many relatives, many siblings, and many younger people or younger children would know of our YouTube channel. And we carry this pressure and that responsibility to be first of all reliable with our sources, but also informative and very objective when it comes to the way that we talk and our personal opinions. And so yeah, at first I was very afraid of that. It terrified me to even like imagine about the different scenarios that people would react. You know, I told you about this, but I'm a perfectionist that way, and I would, you know, come up with many scenarios as to how people would react. And in the beginning days, I tried to limit that. And also, you know, we always tell each other that if we fail, then that's okay, because you know, no one would know because we're so small. Yeah, but now I think like people are very positive, and it shocked me, it surprised me that when our first video launched, many of our relatives you know, go commented, go
Mostly
share.
relatives.
Yeah, even my grandparents, even though they don't even know a single English word. And that's very heartwarming. And also many of our friends, many of our successors, like many cases have reached out. So yeah, it's very cool.
As for me, when I look back at it, and I think that I was not really scared because I was like, okay, so what? We're just gonna be there. And you know, like when we're in grade 11, we've done a certain positions at a certain clubs at our school. And so I'm not gonna say that we're, you know, popular in high school, but at a certain, you know, to some extent, we're known by, you know, a certain a number of people. And so I've always prided myself on being this, you know, kind of like try to do new things and bringing everything, you know, physically showcasing what we got to, you know, larger, you know, audience. And so it was not really scary because, you know, the ideas I come up with for the thumbnails, it was crazy. And so let's embrace it. No, you know, every ounce of our craziness was there on the talking mode. It was there to the point when we kind of feel nothing at all. It was become very, very normal. We kind of normalize everything. And when a friend asks us, but sometimes when, because we're used to this, no one asking, you know, when we just post, so that sometimes when someone, especially someone that we don't really talk to, or someone that we think don't really give, you know, don't really care what we do, they just ask about the talking mode. I was like, okay, okay. So you watch. All right. Can you watch and, you know, go away and watch? Because I'm not really, you know, want to be here for you to discuss me in front of myself. And was like, okay. So there are sometimes we still have that, you know, kind of awkward encounter with someone when they talk about the talking mode. And another time is that when we talk to our group friends, a very close friend, the Mikey Mouse Clubhouse. So they was like, wait, what? So is this like a long time thing? And I was like, so being ignorant about it. And it was like, what kind of friends are you? We've done this for like almost a year, and you guys were asking, is this kind of like in terms of romantic relation, it's just a fling or something. And I was like, oh my God, you guys. So that's pretty much it. As for family, they support it. They actually, support us, and they even asked, like my dad even asked, like, oh, so are you filming today? Or so when's the next episode? And then the other day I just met my my grandma, and then she asked, like, it's been a while since I saw you posted the latest video. I was like, oh, okay, so we're planning to do one next week. So that's it. Overall, generally we got a positive reactions towards what we're doing and what we continue to do in the future.
And
Okay.
plus, like, one more thing, and that's one thing that I learned from this is to be absolutely like ignorant to other people's judgment in the beginning, like just for me to get started, because like I'm the kind of person that wouldn't start a project if I constantly think about other people reaction. And I think that this journey taught me to be more like sure of my decisions, and rather not be affected by other people reaction and what they might say, because I know for sure that there would be some people, even our classmates, who would talk negative things behind our backs about our content, because I know that our content is not catered to everyone. It's more very intellectual, it's more academic, and even very dry to an extent. And so I just try to view it from a perspective that at least it benefits me, and at least it would benefit somebody who watches this video of us. So it's nice to have that.
So yeah, so in simple way, I would put the talking mode as a product of something that we kind of plan, but we kind of also wing it. Come to think about it, when we started, we have all sorts of sheets, we have Google Docs, we have all the organizational things that you could come up with. There's calendar, we even have basically everything. But then when we really start to do it, then we just kind of go with it, because all the planning just go away. Because the more that you plan, the more that you try to make it perfect, the more that you're afraid to do it. And so like you're gonna lose your your passion, your interest into doing it. And also at the same time, I'm not saying that just gonna wing it everything, because when you want quality content, you need to put a certain amount of time into research at the same time too. So a bit of this, a bit of that, that makes the talking mode. So it's a very cool experience, being on here. Plus also like the pressure, it's not just from our peers, it's also from the people that are at a higher level of education than us. And so sometimes when I think that, well, what if they watch this and they think that these these young people, they know nothing, they have no authority on what they're talking, and they're trying to be something that they're not. And that thought had crossed my mind before, because I was friended with some of the really people of high profile, and I was like, okay, so that's a little bit what if they think that we just want this intellectual wannabes. So and it's scary, but at the same time I think that it's all part of the learning process, because what can you do anything without a little bit of humiliation and plus it's not that much of humiliation, because the only time when you kind of speak, where you are. But if you just keep it in your mind, then you actually being very hazy about it all. And I think that is like biggest lessons that just me, but I think Caroline also agrees with me here when we started the talking about.
So now it's time for my question for you. So I want to ask you about what is your favorite episode, or what is your favorite topic that we have talked about on this YouTube channel / podcast.
Well, surely that when we started it all, we kind of want content that's not only beneficial for our audience, but it's also of it's interests us. And it's really hard to pick though, I think. So recently I like I kind of like some of the latest episodes more, because we actually put more, it's more conversational. At the same time, it's we kind of we're becoming more clicked as you speak. And so it's really good that so if I have to choose, I guess it's Tech&Law, maybe our latest video. Tech&Law is kind of fun because there's law in it and there's tech, and there's a combination of the some of the two things that I like, that I want to pursue in the future too. So, and also it's really fun to just give, speculation as well as predictions as how the world is gonna operate in the future. I kind of like that thing because, sometimes we're just really bored with all the, the things that are predictable, and it's like some of the trends, because I've been thinking that, now that we're living in this developed world, how exactly, what is the trajectory that's going in the future. And so yeah, so if I have to pick, that's gonna be Tech&Law. Link up here. So you go see that if you haven't.
I have to agree, that is a very interesting conversation that we had, and it's very different. I have to say, like, it's very different from most YouTube videos that I've watched, because I haven't heard anybody talked about it, at least like around our age range. But for me, I really like the episode on mental health and the case with the suicidal attempt around where we live. It was just a very passionate topic of mine, because I also deal with mental health, not like mental disorder, and I know that many people of our age also deals with that, and it's a very important topic that needs to be talked about. And also one more topic that I can't choose is a topic about Ukraine and Russia, because the more that I research about it, the more that I find it very monumental and very life changing, that event, that conflict in Ukraine. And I know that it's kind of weird to say that it's a video on politics and a video on that kind of topic is my favorite, but I really enjoy having that conversation, especially with Sarah. And I know that you can really benefit a lot from just hearing us talk. And also I linked a lot of resources. So I think that, yeah, it's a very good talk, a very good conversation. And also I have to agree, I like the latest episodes more because I just feel like the more that we do this, the more articulate we become with the way we speak, and we form our just sentences just more clearly, because before I couldn't even understand what we're talking when I edit the video back. And so yeah, it's yeah,
it's not just the content, it's just how we're gonna deliver it, because in terms of just for two person to understand, that's easy, but to caters for a lot of people, then we just have to be trying to perfect the way that the way that we form our sentences and the way that we use words was academic at the same time it's correct, accurate too. It's really hard, but we're learning. I'm gonna end this video and our 1-year anniversary celebration episode with this question that I think many people have wondered, and even ourselves we wonder the most, is that what is our hope or like our future for the our plans with the talking mode next year.
Before we talk about future intention with the talking mode in 2022 and 2023, we need to talk about our intention when we began this whole thing. Is we wanted to buy a mic, and that's still on our bucket list. We wanted to do that on my birthday, so that's the plan, because we needed to go somewhere and test out the mic physically rather than just virtually see them online. And so that's the plan, and hopefully in July we will have a more clear-cut video, audio, and more professional production. But that's on our plan. But with the future intention, I think that one thing that we need to really work on is how we will record after you and I separate in terms of college and university. And that's really our plan, because I don't know if we mentioned this in one of our last videos, but like we thought of it being kind of this solo/duo YouTube, where I would be having a solo episode on my own, and then Sarah would be having a solo episode on her own, and we can come together and then do a video like this. But that's still on our notes, on our plan to ponder upon. But I just think that we just need to enjoy it, and also like have more guests on this podcast and have more interview, because I really want to learn from other people and hear their perspective on some of the topics that we talked about. Because some of our topics are very very complex, and I just think that our own, like, only our personal opinions would not do the topics justice and would not be enough for the people. And so that's my plan. And obviously, I don't know, upgrade on the production level with the mic, with the editing, with the even like running campaigns on our social media platforms, and filming TikTok and stuff, documenting our personal separate lives on the two hemispheres of the world. That would be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. At the same time, it's gonna be very challenging because to keep up with studies, and at the same time different, time zones, and different, I don't know, it's just like even the skills, we have to take that into account when we, because some of us has a nick for editing videos, and some of us has a nick for, making thumbnails. And so now we have to, even now if we, venture on to doing solos videos, then that means that we have to equip ourselves with both, or we have to recruit someone. Well, I'm kind of onto the latter choice, because recruiting someone sounds easy enough. So we also have a very interesting choice to consider. It's actually a volunteer since day one, and he kind of likes to remain anonymous. Well, if you are watching, I think you know what I'm referring to. Caroline and I also had this discussion for our near future plans, and that is aside from the fact that we also seek out for guest speaker, you can also sign up to be one of our guest speaker too. So in the near future, we're going to attach the Google form links into under our video. And so if you think that you have something to say about the topic, you can also suggest a topic of your own, and then sign up. Also, we're going to ask you some of the questions like, are you comfortable with us using your image and using your to post on social media, and why do you think you are the best person to give this topic to? So that is something you're gonna look forward in the near future. And I think that's it for today's special video.
Yes.
Once again, happy 1 year anniversary to you and me.
To the talking mode. To the talking mode.
Cheers. Okay, so that's a wrap. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Stay tuned.
Stay safe.
And
stay awesome.
Awesome. Bye.